what's evident here, Gopal Agarwal come in now is, as the finance minister highlighted, that this is about the spotlight is on the common man, the spotlight is on the middle class, and also on the farmers.
Mariaji, we have to understand that initially some spokesperson had a reservation about credit going to the state. Finance minister in her opening remark clearly mentioned about the federal structure of the GST council, and she thanked all the states, participant states, for this effort. Second thing is, it is the leadership of prime minister which has given this vision, and he has been pushing, and she said that it is not just today or tomorrow, yesterday. It has been long time where the finance ministry under the leadership and the guidance of the prime minister had been doing for this working. And it is not only reduction of rates. The important thing has been mentioned that there is a structural reforms on the GST, whether it the process reforms, classification confusion, inverted duty structure, faster refunds, lowering of rates. So it is not only lowering of rates. This is very important. The important thing is ease of doing business has been the hallmark of this GST mega reforms. Our economy is performing well, but the next steps of which the Prime Minister announced from the rampant of Red Fort is that big ticket reforms for economy boost for boosting our economy is there. And even about the revenue loss has been explained that continuously when we have reduced taxes, whether the corporate tax, individual tax, or GST rate, when GST came at in 2016, the revenue neutral rate was announced to be was expected by the Arvind Subramaniam committee to be 15.5%. But over the last 2 3 years, the average revenue was reduced to 11.6%. But still, the total revenue collection from for the government has been continuously increasing. It had crossed at one stage is more than 2 lakh crores per month. So the thing is better compliance, better blocking of leakages, lowering of taxes, and even anti-profiteering was introduced earlier, but it was removed because government has respected compliances from the corporate sector. That trust about the corporate sector is also very important, which is evident in this GST reforms. One important point I would also like to say, which had been mentioned by the finance minister, was earlier Congress may try to take credit of some of the things, but she said that GST was on cards for a long time, but UP and Congress did not were not successful in implementing this GST was because it was states did not have faith on the center's ability to pay for compensations and to streamline the whole GST reforms, and whether there will be buoyancy, whether there will be more compliances. But now over more than 9 years, the states and the center has found that the uh, having faith on the tax corporate sector or individual or people in the country has paid dividend. So this is also very important.
Whether this reform will have a multiplier effect on the Indian economy and can propel India's GDP beyond 8%, that remains to be seen. But it is certainly being called a festive bonanza for Indian consumers and a strategic boost for the economy. Can that be really that strategic boost, that booster dose that Indian economy was looking for, Sanchita? And has it come at the right time? Industry and consumers alike will stand to benefit from what is being seen as a very, very progressive step. S.E. Garg, because a lot of reactions have started coming in, particularly from the industry. They are calling it landmark reform. Of course, the Aam Aadmi reactions will come in tomorrow morning, but to make housing affordable, to ensure that construction becomes affordable. These are steps in the right direction. and the reduction of GST on critical construction material like the cement and steel in particular from 28% to 18% is the step in the right direction.
Of course, these things will matter, especially the 28% items like cement and others being brought to 18%. That will give a kind of boost to the construction. But it's not that easy. The economy doesn't sort of function only on a tax element and to say that this will give a big boost and the kind of multiplier effects. This is not the way the economy actually works. There are a lot of factors which come into play. How is the general conditions of demand in the economy?
Yes.
How is the export demand going into the every tax giveaway doesn't result into the increase in taxes. What happened, for example, on the income tax side, we saw when the big concession of 1 lakh crore that raising the exemption limit to 12 lakh. And now we're seeing that actually the income tax collections are declining very fast. In July, the income tax collection for the month are 30% down. In the month of July, the total GTR, the gross tax receipts, are about 11% down. So it's not a kind of matter of fact or an automatic mechanism by which it happens. I think we'll have to watch. There are many factors which we need to take into account. There's a lot of essential consumption items which are there from 12% to 5%.
Yes.
Their demand doesn't really matter on whether it's taxed at 5% or 12%. People need to make those consumption. That is not elastic in terms of taxes, but there is elasticity connected with automobiles and air conditioners and things like that. If they become cheaper,
Okay.
many new ones tend to buy. So it's a more complex. I don't think anybody can put any number about the growth in stimulus or the tax stimulus on this.